What's up, everybody? Erock the Red here, back with another episode of AEW Bring the Boom, the weekly AEW Dynamite review and recap, brought to you by Pop Culture Playground. We've got a ton of stuff to talk about. This was an amazing episode of Dynamite, and it's the first episode after the Wednesday Night Wars, so that'll be interesting to see. What they do with the, they got a blank slate, a free schedule. As always, it starts off huge. This time, I didn't think it was going to start with this, but let's talk about how the show starts. We get the first look at the brand new heel Young Bucks. Nick's literally just wearing a shirt that says I Heart Heel Turns. They say they're the newer, better version of the Young Bucks. Then we get our first look at Mike Tyson for the week. He's very animated. He's all fired up. He looks really excited to be there. And MJF gets in his face and just starts shit talking him, and it was great. It made me respect MJF even more, because sometimes he comes off as that, the slimy little weasel heel, and this time, dude, for him to get up in Tyson's face and he talks shit about his tattoo, and his age, basically. So that was great. But he offers him a blank check, and Tyson rips it up and then eats it and spits it at him. That was a fun scene. So already kind of showing that, maybe Tyson's got an alliance with Jericho. Anyways, then we go to what I thought might have been the main event. It's the Death Triangle, Rey Fenix and Pac versus Young Bucks for the championship. We get, Death Triangle comes out. They're thinking shit ton of pyro. Really cool to see. And then we get the new Young Bucks. I was so excited to see what they're going to come out looking like. Because on Dark, they were saying how they got to get away from the bright colors and, the family-friendly look. So they come out all in white with fur. No more tassels on the boots. There's fur little bell-bottom things. And they got these dope white Nike Dior Air Jordans. So real fancy. And then instead of the Young Bucks shooting out the dollar bill thing, now we get streamers in the ring, and I love it, dude. I think it looks cooler. I'm always been a big fan of the streamers in the ring, but let's see what the Bucks do. This was an amazing match. I'm talking match of the year candidate. Such a good match. We told a great story. In fact, my one complaint about the match was that they laid on the heel work a little thick. There were so many back rakes and just heel tactics. There was the fake out where Matt was doing a flippy thing in the corner, and he just walked over and scratched his back. A bunch of low blows throughout the match, and a lot of acting up to the crowd and the camera and that sort of thing. There's some weird stuff at one point. Matt does this thing where he's I couldn't even really explain it. I don't know if he was making fun of face tag teams or how they used to act, but he was doing this thing, he was all fired up and riled up and playing to the crowd. And then he switched and did a thing where he was making fun of, looked like he was making fun of Shawn Michaels when Shawn Michaels won the belt. I didn't know what was going on there. But anyways, let's talk about the match. Some amazing series. Right away it starts off, Matt's in there. There was a funny thing where Matt goes to the wrong corner and looks for the tag, and then has to sneak out and go to the other corner. I thought that was interesting. And then a great series with Nick and Phoenix, and then we get amazing double team wrestling from the Death Triangle. Like, they really have been able to put together some awesome double team moves. We saw one time there was a foot stomp from Phoenix into the super kick and then into a blue thunder bomb by Pac. That was for a near fall. And then soon after that, we saw Phoenix did the rope walk into and then he did this amazing dive off of that, and Pac hit a bridging German suplex for another near fall. Both of those were awesome. But the match was super back and forth. Both teams just getting tons of moves in, and the whole time the Bucks are really just playing to the crowd. They're playing up this heel shit. And then we see one of the greatest destroyers that I've ever seen. It was they called it a rebounding destroyer, and it was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Another great move, we saw both opposite members of the team doing poison ranas to their opposite to their opponent on the outside, and then right after that, Phoenix gets tossed over the thing, and he tries to the barricade and tries to come back in, gets blasted with a super kick, basically no sells that, jumps back over, and then hits a cutter on the outside floor. Just tons of action. It was just going back and forth, back and forth. Soon after that, we get an amazing finish. Again, a little super. All right, we get it. You're the bad guys, but Nick rips the mask off of Phoenix. He covers his face. They blast him with a couple super kicks and gets the pin because he's still covering his face. I thought it was a great match. They still made the Death Triangle look, it was a good loss for them. They lost due to some really shitty, underhanded heel tactics. So I'm telling you, fantastic match. Definitely match of the year candidate for me. Let me know what you guys thought of the match, because that's all I'm going to be talking about for a week. Next up, after we calm down from that excitement, we go talk to Hangman Page. He's with the Dark Order, and Alex Marvez. He's asking about what Page thinks of the Elite, and he doesn't want to talk about that shit. He basically says, "Here, talk to John Silver," and he leaves. And then we get Silver showing us his shoulder, how it's getting better, doing a little rehab. Love the Dark Order. I love the Meat Man. So hopefully he gets healed up and gets back out there pretty soon. Next up, we have another interview. Alex Marvez, again, he was very busy tonight. But now he's with the Inner Circle and Tyson. And basically so first of all, Jericho says they had to atone for everything they did wrong. And one of the first things he did was he called Tyson and made amends with him. And now Tyson's their friend, but Tyson's gonna, he's gonna be a straight shooter. He's gonna enforce it right down the middle. So, only time will tell. But Tyson, again, they gave him a lot of speaking roles tonight, because again, we get more of super animated, super crazy sounding Tyson talking. And, I don't know if I love it or hate it. I go back and forth. But he says, may the best man win. Or I think he says, may best man win. So, I don't know. But anyways, moving on. Next up, we've got Red Velvet versus Jade Cargill. We're finally getting this match. It feels like it's been building up forever. They said it's only been a month, but it just seems like a long time. I guess there was a lot of build up to the previous match, the Shaq one. So hopefully this will be the end of this feud. This was a great match. Jade Cargill has an awesome intro. She's a star. I'm telling you, she just looks the part. She's only wrestled, and I didn't realize this, she's only wrestled 4 matches prior to this, and she looked great. I really think she's going to be in title contention in no time. But there was some great wrestling on both sides. Red Velvet, I thought Red Velvet was going to win this a couple times. I knew they've been really pushing Jade Cargill as the next beast, the next monster in the division. But, you know, Red Velvet has been, she's got a great record. I think she's like, I don't know what it was, 9-0 or something going into this. So definitely I thought she had a chance, and she looked great. At one point she hit an amazing tope through the ropes. Like, I mean, it was like Phoenix. Like, she didn't slow down. She just blast out there. Fantastic. But then soon Jade gets the upper hand and does a fall-away slam, throwing Red Velvet into the crowd, into her friends. I thought that was a nice spot too. After that, you know, we get a little more back and forth in the ring. Finally, Red Velvet's in charge. She goes up to do a moonsault, misses the moonsault. Actually, it looks like she like smacked her head on Jade. I was nervous for a second. But Jade scoops her up, does the Jaded, which is a weird arm holdy thing, slammy down thing. I think that was the original title, and they changed it to Jaded. Sure, I get it, whatever. For the pin, Jade Cargill won that one. Next up, we've got Tony Schiavone. He's with Britt Baker, DMD, and Rebel, not Reba, and they are going over the ranking. Basically, it's Britt saying that her plan is working. She's wrestling on Dark Elevation, boosting her rankings, and, you know, now that Red Velvet lost, she's going to be right up there. So, you know, that's what a lot of these, like SCU, that's what they've been doing. Now they're number one contenders for the title. So, yeah, keep at it, Britt. I want that title belt around your waist. I think you deserve it. I think it's going to be interesting to see. So next week, it's Hikaru Shida, Tai Conti. Finally, we're getting that title shot. And I think whoever wins that, I would like to see Britt wrestle them at maybe like the next pay-per-view or something for a shot. I think that would be fantastic. All right, moving on. We've got the in-ring debut of the Governor. Oi, Governor. Anthony Ogogo. Quality. That's a quality accent. He comes out to Church Bells. I loved it. It was so different from all the other entrance music. It was so weird. But, you know, he came out. He's got the Olympics logo plastered on his shirt. We'll see how that goes. I remember reading that the Olympics weren't too keen on Kurt Angle having any reference to the Olympics on him. So, but it was cool. So, yeah, Ogogo was Olympic medalist. Was he a gold medalist? I don't remember. In boxing. But he's wrestling a dude who doesn't even get like a nameplate along the bottom. They just mention he's like Cole Carter. So he's wrestling Cole Carter, and we don't really get to see much of what Ogogo has. I think there was one hold, and then he punches him in the stomach, and the ref stops it. Now, I hope this is not his finisher. The gut punch, like, especially when it's stopping matches. So they showed him punch Cody with it at the house show they had recently. So, like, they're really building up this gut punch thing, and I'm not buying it. Like, I've seen a lot of UFC matches where the dude gets punched in the liver or whatever and goes down, but it's very rare. Like, so if he's going to be doing this regularly, I think they should rethink that. Now, granted, Cole Carter wasn't like, I mean, I could see him getting blasted in the gut and then going down. But, like, if you're trying to do that to literally anybody else, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they do going forward. But, you know, he was out there with the whole, what they're calling the factory now. I'm not sold on that name either. I get where it came from. It was the Nightmare Factory. Now it's just the Factory. I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me. But so yeah, the other dudes were out there, including QT with his like cool like bowling shirt. He's like, I don't know if he's like the boss now. He looks like a shitty mob boss. But yeah, we'll see that was it for the Factory. We'll see what happens with them going forward. Next up, we got a little piece from the best man, Miro. He was saying that he hasn't seen Kip Sabian since their match, and he's dodging him. So basically, I think that he's moving on from Kip, which I think is a great idea. Keep pushing him as this maniac dude, hell bent on winning at any cost. I think that's where the money is with him. Next up, we've got the Dax Harwood versus Jericho match. So Tyson comes out first. He's the special enforcer, and he comes out looking like a special enforcer. You know, pink shorts, some white boat shoes. Just exactly how I would picture a special enforcer. You know, just strikes fear into the hearts of many. Those beautiful little boat shoes. But Dax Harwood is out there with Cash. Jericho's out there with Sammy. And this match was all right. It was all right. It was a fun match. It didn't take long for them to like really go crazy. Like they were outside throwing chairs at each other, throwing each other into the banisters, and pretty soon Jericho has like this crazy like red welt on his chest. He was taking a bunch of chops, so that looked pretty crazy. I think it moved his boobs back into place. But Jericho at one point attacks him with a pen, and then he hits him with a camera. So a lot of stuff on the outside. It was a nice like springboard power bomb by Dax at one point, and then the Inner Circle comes out. The Pinnacle comes out right after that. They're all fighting. Cash comes in with the bat, and what even happens? Oh, Tyson is like, no, give me that bat. Punches him. It looked great. They did a really good job with this one. He looked like he got knocked out. It was a fantastic shot, and then Jericho hits the Judas effect on Dax, and he gets the pin. Then he calls after the match, after everybody runs away. He says that Mike Tyson is an ancillary member of the Inner Circle, whatever that means. You know, so I don't know if that means we'll be seeing more of Tyson, or if they're starting to do like a Bullet Club thing where there's just you're gonna have just a ton of members all over the place. So next up, we're back to Alex Marvez. He's a busy man tonight. He's with the Elite and the Good Bros with Don Callis outside, just looking like just 90s movie bad guys. Just both the Young Bucks have like these black Kangol hats on, which means you're a bad guy, and Kenny's got like a white blazer on, and they're just shooting. They're just saying, why they're bad guys now, and they kept, what a priz. The Good Brothers kept saying, well, more specifically, Doc Gallows kept saying, what a priz, saying that, it was the Swiss Prismo. Do they say that? Is that a thing? Can I talk like a wrestler? Priz? Anyways, Young Bucks look like they're gonna super kick the cameraman, and then they back down, and then Don Callis super kicks the cameraman. Sure, whatever. The announcers are like, he needs to be fined for that. It's like, all right, Don Callis, great job. Like, I love Don Callis as, like, he's so good at being like the shitty scumbag, but he's too good at it. Like, I don't even want him around anymore. He's such a shitty scumbag. But the faction is looking good. It's looking strong. I'm still interested to see, like, what's going on with the Good Bros. Like, are they sticking around, or are they? You know, I don't know. I'll take them. They don't take away anything really. They just add. Next up, we go talk to Thunder Rosa. She just, says she's here to take over the world. We'll see what's next for her. And then Chris Statlander back in action. She comes out to the Best Friends music, so I thought that was cool. Tony's just getting everything he paid for out of that Where Is My Mind. And she is wrestling against Amber Nova. I think this was her debut. She hasn't wrestled in 10 months, Statlander, that is. She comes out, she's booping. I missed the boop. I didn't think I would miss the boop, but I missed the boop. And at one point, JR is trying so hard to figure out how to say that Chris Statlander, looks more fit. And he's like, she leaned up. And she did. She looks great. She, at one point, picks up Amber Nova with, like, a press slam. Very, very well done. She just didn't look like she strained at all. Just grabbed her and just picked her up, slammed her down, and hit the Supernova, where she pile driver, where she sits out, and it always looks great. Or she kneels, I think, for that one. But I thought that was interesting because her opponent's name was Nova. So it was like the Supernova and the Amber Nova. So confusing. And then we go to our weekly meeting with Team Taz, where they again assure us that everything is all right. But we got Starks going crazy still. And, Cage, it's a whole thing with Starks and Cage. Basically, Taz says, you guys both need to stay in the back. I don't know what's going to happen there. I feel like it's going to be a little bit of swerve, because now Starks is really he's pissing a lot of people off. So I feel like we're looking like they might kick Cage out, but maybe they switch it up and do Starks. I don't know. Christian Cage comes, he's out there with Tony. Team Taz interrupts their interview, and basically they're asking Cage if he's going to accept their offer to be in Team Taz. Christian's like, no, Team Taz is a dumpster fire.
So you want my answer? Fine, here it is. And I'm glad you're standing on those 3 steps so I can say this to you face to face. My answer is no.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, here's the deal, shitbag. Okay, as far as my height, if I was standing on my wallet, I'd be 10 feet over your big head.
Yeah, that bingo hole money, huh?
Yeah, you're damn right. Yeah, no, other money, too. Other money.
It was a great back and forth. I really enjoyed that. And then Hobbs and Hook just beat the shit out of Christian Cage. At one point, Hobbs just chucked him straight into the air and let him fall. And then they slammed him down on the steel steps. So, yeah. So Christian, he denied, or he said no. And next week he's got a match against Powerhouse Hobbs. Yeah, we'll see what goes on with this. What I would love to see, ultimately, the Cage does turn on Team Taz, or they kick him out or whatever, and teams with Christian, and then they have some sort of a cool tag team about cages. Like, what would the name be? The Cage Factory. The Factory. Yes. the factory. All right, I'm still spitballing that. We'll come back to that. But that's what I would love to see. Like, just, it might get confusing with the cage squared. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Any ideas? Leave them in the comments. We need to know. We need to get to the bottom of this. And also, we need to talk to Tony Khan and get this ball rolling. This is a great idea they got to go with. Just pair them up because their last names are the same. Oh, what's next? Next, the main event of the evening, Big Money Matt Hardy versus Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. This is a Falls Count Anywhere match. Awesome match. Very well done, Falls Count Anywhere. We get, initially, right away, Matt's got a chair, and he fucking cracks Darby with it in the back when he's like trying to do like this weird springboard thing off the ropes. That was really cool. And then Matt tries to do the twist of fate on Darby with the chair like around his neck. Very, very cool. That got reversed though. And then didn't take long for the Hardy family office to come out. Butch comes out, throws a garbage can at Darby, and, you know, they just start attacking him, just stomping on him, shit like that. Dark Order comes out for the save, and they're just battling the whole time. Sting then comes out, and, you know, he's out there. It's just pandemonium. It's just everybody's fighting everybody, but Darby and Matt stayed fighting themselves. There was really no interference in their match at that point. It was just everybody was just fighting everybody else. At one point, even Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page came out to attack Sting, it looked like. But then Lance Archer came out and told them no. And then he attacked one of the Private Party guys. He did his finishing move on him. I don't remember who it was, but it was like, why did you come out just to like try to show off and impress Sting? Like, that's basically all I did. He was like, yo, check this move out, Sting. And he did his thing where he, like, you know, crucifix flip bombs him, whatever, and then he was like, and then Sting was like, and then he went to the back, and then Sting throws Darby the bat, and he goes to the back. So that was interesting. We'll see what that's all about. Darby's in control. He's got the bat. Matt hits him with a low blow. And then he does get that twist of fate with the chair wrapped around Darby's head. That was a really cool spot. Slams him down on the chair, and Darby kicks out. Matt Hardy sets up a ladder, puts Darby on the table. Matt only goes up like halfway up the ladder. It was like, yo, Jeff would have went all the way. He would have went all the way to the top, but Matt Hardy hits a leg drop off of the ladder. It was only like, you know, it wasn't very high. But it's through a table. So Darby's on the table. He hits a leg drop through the table. And after that, Darby returns the favor, blasts him with a huge low blow. Then Darby gets the bat and starts just smashing all the monitors at the announce table. Lays Matt on the table. Climbs this, I don't even know what it was. It was like some huge like metal structure way up, and nails this coffin drop from up there through the table. Perfect coffin drop, perfect aim, got Hardy like right in the right spot, and it looked fantastic, and pins him on the outside to retain the TNT Championship. Awesome match. So yeah, that was a great match. A little too much going on with the, I mean, it wasn't so much like outside interference after a little bit, but it was just like shit just going on everywhere. Just everybody, the Dark Order and the Hardy family office just wrestling each other all over the place. So it was a little distracting. I feel like just a better one-on-one match, Darby versus Matt, would have been better. Although, like, Matt seems to be slowing down quite a bit. So maybe some of that was to take the eye off of him to, I don't know. But it was a good match. I'm not saying that it was a bad match by any means. It was very well done, and I just don't know how much, like, I don't think we needed all that extra stuff. But obviously they're building up to a Dark Order, Hardy family office thing. I just don't know where Darby and Matt fall into this, and Lance and Sting and Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Like, I don't know where that's very muddled. I don't know what Lance Archer and Sting are doing. That was really weird. But, I mean, the only time will tell. It's got me thinking about it. It's got me talking about it. So that's a good thing, right? They announced the card for next week. Like I said, it's Hikaru Shida versus Ty Conti for the Women's Championship. We got Powerhouse Hobbs versus Christian Cage after they beat up Christian Cage tonight. And we've also got Starks versus Hangman Page. Looking forward to that one. That's going to be an awesome match. And then we've got Trent versus Penta El Zero M. I don't know if there was something I missed why they're wrestling, but I'm not upset with it. Like, I think that's going to be an awesome match. I'll take Penta anytime I can, and Trent, these guys have wrestled against each other so many times previously, so I'm sure they'll be able to put on a fantastic match. So those were the 4 that were announced. I'm sure we'll get a bunch more, but yeah, tonight was an awesome match, or an awesome night of wrestling, and the match that made it was that Young Bucks Death Triangle match. I'm still calling it match of the year candidate. Very, very well done. So, if you want, go back and watch that match. Out of all of them tonight, definitely just make sure you see that match. It was done very well, and like I said, it told a great story. If a little too much heavy-handed heel tactics from the Young Bucks. So, great looking card for next week. It's just every week, baby. Just AEW is just killing it. And now, unopposed on Wednesday nights, we'll see if they, can keep the pace going or if they slow down. Only time will tell. But it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. Now you can watch, Tuesday night you've got NXT. Wednesday night you've got this, and then in between that you got NWA Power, MLW if you want that. Impact. I think Impact moved. I missed last week's. That might be on Thursdays now. So much quality wrestling. And then, if you want, you could watch WWE shows. I'm not doing that, but you are welcome to. All right, let's talk rankings for this week. April 14th, new rankings are as follows. Still got Kenny Omega and Darby Allin as the champions, both undefeated. And we've got in the number 1 spot, Hangman Page, 6-0. Then Jon Moxley, Jungle Boy, Cody Rhodes, and Powerhouse Hobbs. Dude, when's the last time that Hobbs even wrestled? All of a sudden he's in the top 5? Like, that to me makes no sense. Like, I haven't seen him wrestle in so long, so I don't know. I'm assuming it's just to build up this Christian Cage stuff. It's probably he'll be in there for a week and then hit the road. But yeah, I thought that was a big surprise. I don't know what he's doing up there. But other than that, there wasn't much movement. Max Caster was up there last week. He's out. And then Cody and Jungle Boy moved up a little bit. But, no movement as far as like real championship stuff. Paige is wrestling next week. Hopefully he can continue to keep that streak going, and we'll see what happens with the rest of them. I don't know. I think Kenny's going to be, I don't know if he has any matches planned. I know he's defending his title on Impact's pay-per-view in a title versus title match against Rich Swann. I don't know when that is. That's coming up though. So maybe after that we'll see a title defense from him. Or we won't, or he'll lose the belt at Impact, which I don't think is going to happen, but who knows? Let's go to the women's rankings. The women's rankings, we've got Hikaru Shida still as your champion. She'll be wrestling the number one contender, Ty Conti, next week. And then after that, we got Red Velvet, who lost this week. And then Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, right behind her. And I'm assuming she'll get a couple more wins on Dark. And I would expect her to take that second spot for next week. And then we've got Nyla Rose and Thunder Rosa right in there. Ryo Mizunami was in there. She didn't wrestle, so she's out. All these, the women's division right now it's firing on all cylinders. It's fantastic. I think, in my opinion, I would love to see Ty Conti win next week against Shida. But what I'm expecting them to do is Shida retains and maybe drops it to Britt Baker coming up. I don't know. Or they could, or they give it to Ty Conti for a little bit and then she'll drop it to. I feel like Britt Baker's coming for that belt. I think she deserves it, and I, for one, would love to see it. So, we'll see how that plays out, going forward. And then, lastly, we've got our tag team rankings. Young Bucks still the champs. Then we've got SCU still up in there, crushing wins on Dark. I'm expecting them. My thought is that the Young Bucks will defend against them next, and SCU will finally get that loss and then break up, and then maybe have Christopher Daniels move to a more producer role, and Frankie Kazarian, have a singles run, maybe just as his angry man character. We'll see. That's what, I think that would work out, and it would be the most interesting. Not saying that Christopher Daniels can't continue to wrestle. I just think, he'll wrestle a little less. He's definitely, showing some signs of age and wear, but he's still doing it. I just watched him on Dark, and they looked fantastic, SCU. So, we'll see. But I think I say we'll see so many times because you never know. You really don't know. So, we'll see. Second, we've got Jurassic Express. Then we got the Butcher and the Blade, Varsity Blondes, and FTR. Where the fuck did Varsity Blondes come from? They shot right up there past FTR, which I don't know if I really approve of that, because I think FTR beat the Varsity Blondes recently and they're undefeated. So I get that the Varsity Blondes have more wins, but also against shittier, they just wrestled jobbers. So I don't know. I don't know what happened there. But the tag division, as always, is stacked. During the tag match tonight, they showed, all the contenders in the audience there. And, best friends aren't on this list. They were out there. Maybe now that Trent is back, him and Sexy Chucky T could get their shit together and make a push for the title. But, yeah, I don't know. We will see. Yes, I did it again. We will see what the future holds for all of these wrestlers. All right, that was our episode for tonight. Again, amazing night of wrestling as usual. Let me know what you thought. Leave a comment. Eager to hear what everybody's take on the night was, especially the tag titles match. Like I said, that one I just want to talk about it so much. I'm not gonna, but I do want to talk about it more. So leave me a comment. Let's chat about it. I felt like tonight had the most. Like it was just so, they jam-packed so much in. I remember thinking like, oh, it's got to be close to 10. And I looked at my phone and it was like 8:45. It's like, what? Everything was just like, and that was like after a half-hour tag match too. So it was like there was just a ton of stuff jam-packed in this episode, and I thought it was great. Definitely a lot less promos than last week, so that was good. There was a lot of action in this one. But again, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. I've got this, a bunch of video game reviews and movie reviews, another podcast. So a lot of cool stuff on the channel, and I would love if you would subscribe. If you are listening to the audio version on any one of the podcast subscribe channel things, leave a comment on there. Rate us if you're on Apple. Any little bit of interaction helps. I really appreciate it. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. I finally get to talk wrestling with somebody. So, it's just myself. It's really just a video of myself. But, I think someone's listening. I hope someone's listening. Let me know if you're listening. But, until next week, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you then. Bye.